There's a big knight here, and then there's the first switch over there. I think I can go after the big armor and see how that goes. I'm not sure, do animated objects take curse damage? They have massive curse resistance, so the answer is no. Then the spell wall might not be good, but it's also sort of maybe the only thing I have. I think I'll try cursed energy. Hopefully this does damage to the thing, the suit of armor. Harvest Field still also does damage, does physical damage. So we'll try a bunch of stuff. See what sticks. See what works. We're going to avoid using mirrors because we want to keep our summons here. Okay, we also can't use Fireball or any ball spells because we have these animated dolls, and they just don't work well with that. Now where? Wait, yeah, I just went to the wrong place. I'm supposed to go downstairs to upper bedroom A. I think there was a ghost here too. Okay, it's weak to fire. So pretty much all the furnishings I find, the automatons, animated stuff, are going to be weak to fire, but resistant to curse. Maybe a bit resistant to physical, and resistant to status effects. Is that... Why is there a ward on the ground? I didn't put that there. Is that going to explode? Well, it's not exploding on my dummy. And I guess my animated dudes turned out fairly durable for that fight. There's not much in here. I don't know, I guess I expected that thing to be tougher. Okay. Now what is that? What is that on the ground? I think maybe that's where I put a ward candle earlier. I have no idea. Okay, we're gonna wrap around just to take caution that she doesn't ambush me as soon as she sees me. That hasn't really happened before yet, I think. But I think there actually was a cutscene last time I saw her in the beginning of the game. He's already attacking her. So what's the story here? Who is she? First witch, Samantha. For some reason, she's allied with, it seems, Robert Blackett. He's the one who put me in the observatory. And what is he doing supporting witches? I guess he's sort of expanding the magic of this place by having people initiate into magic and start learning magic and exploring magic to sort of guide. Actually, I think it seems like the idol inside the dream can also still see new things from within the dream. So it's sort of has a self-contained, self-developing consciousness. Like new things that happen in the dream, new things that are imagined by the people in the dream, that creativity can feed back into the idol to expand its world. So this will become like a self-nourishing universe. That just means I'm going to kill her, right? Oh no, that was just a cut.
Try this. Good. Hold still.
Ah. It cancelled my vampire thing.
Stay there, impudent creature. Try this. Thou wretch. Shameful. The decent is end. Try this. Try. Thou wretch. Here, nightingale. Not so. Try it. Not so
Man, my doll survived the whole thing. She didn't have much on her, did she? Rebirth Shrine, enchantable object. Safe? Okay. So where do we go now? Robert Blackert's room. Has a key to the entrance hall. Hello? I'm alright. Do you know this game? What brings you? This game's kind of fun. I'm here because I wanted to explore a magic system, and this is what got recommended to me. They told me this had an interesting magic system. You kind of play as like a novice witch who's learning how to be, well, essentially powerful enough to kill other witches, and sort of usurping like the power hierarchy there. Okay, so there's something down here. Oh, it goes up? From what I can tell, yeah, you have like a bunch of different weapons you can use. You have melee weapons. You also have some like throwing weapons, and I understand that you can get guns later, but you also have spells you can cast. So it's a bunch of different stuff. Where am I right now? Secret attic room. Okay. This went up. I thought I was looking for something that went down. But it depends on what you want to spec into. You can put your damage into, you know, melee or projectile weapons or magic. And I've gone into magic mostly. Do you have any experience with games like this? Two. Okay. So what brought you around? What makes you want to check something like this out? Ah, okay. What do you like to play yourself? Fire. Really? What do you like to watch on Twitch then? Like 1, 2, 3. This is referring to an astronomical chart. 2, 3. 5, 3. but you're not sure. That's weird. So you've watched, I mean that, I'm not sure that's entirely true. You're saying you've watched a bunch of random things and nothing you've seen from any of them has interested you at all. I mean, how long have you been trying to watch and trying to find something that interests you? Trying and failing to find anything that interests you. I don't know. I guess maybe outside Twitch, there's probably something that interests you somewhere, even if not on Twitch. Twitch is difficult to search through, is what I understand. That's my experience. Like, it doesn't really help you find things. Yeah. Key to below the entrance hall. There's... Except what? I might have to go back to the observatory. 1, 2, 3, what in the world? Ancient stuff? Like, what do you mean? Give some examples. Like history, biblical texts, like classical literature. What am I looking at here? Oh, okay, so yeah, I'm close to the observatory, so I can do that. Okay. So you were like brought up, I guess, religious, and that's a lot of your experience. But then why are you, but you're exploring outside. I guess you're trying to see if anything outside. Okay, so, I mean, you can continue. You might have a lot to say here about your experiences. 6, 3, 6. But then is like ancient biblical texts are the first thing ever that has interested you, that has interested you in your entire life? That'd be unusual. I wouldn't think that's true. 5, 3. Seven, 5, 2. Okay. So Hindu classical literature. 7, 5, 2. When did you get into that stuff? The story here is really weird. Where, you know, it's dark and mysterious. The antagonist has put some sort of transmission device in his brain. And he's trying to hear someone who might be outside of this plane. It might be his wife, his dead wife. And she has requested, or it might be someone impersonating the dead wife. A very long time ago. I mean, you don't know what age. I guess maybe teenage or, you know, 10s or 20s is what I'd guess. Because I don't think like elementary school kids would be able to, would be like doing that. I guess maybe some would, but I mean, there are you haven't liked any sort of like modern literature? Because even modern literature has some of the same themes that ancient texts do. It depends what you sort of liked from the ancient texts. So that'd be, I guess, the question. Like, what sort of sparked you in there? I guess some people it sort of just echoes into their like their being, like the eternity, the scale of what's being said in ancient texts. Then it also sort of makes you, I guess, sort of distant from like the close range, everyday stuff. So I got a key, the idol's there. Started its journey. It's some sort of like astral projection underneath the entrance hall, going to wherever this other person is, this other entity, in order to see her, the wife. Because that's his motivation. He wants to bring the wife back. But who knows if it's actually her. Door handle. So this area is cleared. There's a door that I cannot open. It was in the basement. Okay, so you've become religious. I guess you're Muslim? You became Muslim as a result of your studies. And you take in a major proportion of your life dedicated to studying long range, I guess, large scope understandings of this sort of religious domain of understanding about the creator and I guess spiritual mysteries of human eternity. So you're like into religious studies primarily. So like you maybe study religion formally or on your own, mostly on your own or formally. I mean, you associate with the religion, so you associate with the social aspect of it somewhat, which means you're doing it with other people, I think. I mean, you're reading texts too, so you're like studying other people's interpretations, I guess. I mean, so you're mainly directed yourself towards Islam instead of the other ones, or although you're saying that you connect most of them together and they're all interconnected and overlapping. I mean, the most recent religious thing I came across interesting religious thing I came across was that a film, The Man from Earth. A film from 2007. Which I think essentially said that oh no, it was like some fictional account that was some sort of interesting. Oh, do I have a way out? Okay, yeah. Where like me personally, I've only read like scattered chapters. I haven't done like thorough studies. I haven't done thorough religious studies. But I'm sort of like widely read in a general way, though more secular than not. I've done like for instance, I have not read the whole Old Testament, but I studied a few of the I guess chapters with a college professor and some other students. It's just, for me, I have a very secular mindset. So I have a much more close range like psychology. I'm like much more earthly than you probably. So it's, for me, it can't be my like first line, focus. But I know, a little closer range than you would be taking understandings from religion and I guess communicating back to, normal, everyday earthlings. As a sort of, completing the circle in some way. So I already know, like, there are people who do that in interpretation, in filmmaking, media making. So everyone's on like a different line there, different part of that line. First sentinel candle. I know a lot of people. A lot of people talk really highly of the Indian classical texts. I've never, probably should try them at some point. I haven't managed to do that. Is this the door? I mean, they're one of the older ones, right? And I know that India is sort of like a primary breeding ground for religion and religious thought and spiritual thought, just because of the way the culture is, how it sort of supports diverse cultures and belief systems. I mean, tell me something about, what shines from those readings, because I am interested. Front door. Vedic faith. Now, what does that mean? The ancient religion from around 1500 BC. Okay, so it's like a specific religion from 1500 BC India. It's like pre-Hinduism, is it? No, Hinduism was another religion that also coexisted. System creator, this leader. labyrinth. Is this... should I even be here? Cowboy hat. The gods are separate from the universe. Okay. So then is the universe just material things? Yeah, that makes sense. So gods, people, and material. Then why... what? When you were talking about different configurations of the words Ishvara, Vishnu, is that just like different combinations of the three forces in different orders, or what? Here we upgrade. Is this... oh, is this... what's her name? Millie? Or what? Millie or another of the lost ones? They got lost down here. I thought they came in through the wrong room, but... all they did... no, they did not use that same door I did. Because the door handle was missing. Or maybe they got locked out. Josette. I've not heard of her. Does she know Millie? Keep the automatons going. So she sort of partnered with the wretch. Though maybe just using his robots. Similar to my own robots. Mm. Okay. Tell me about this one then. This very interesting chapter. Robert or the first switch. What the hell are they doing down here? Robert put the idol underneath the manor, and they're digging underneath the manor. The idol, for some reason, has created an area underneath the manor. For some reason, there's something down here. And there's something that's communicating with Robert and also calling to these witches to go down. It's something that wants to grow because it wants to see the idol. And it wants to be found because it's calling for the witches to push towards it, and also for Robert to push towards it. And in this setting, the agents of expansion are the witches, or really any of the living people, and the idol. So Vishnu, the sustainer, was asleep, but not entirely unconscious of the world. He was potent and passive. There was some sort of fresh creation that broke free from his abdomen. The creation took the form of a lotus flower's bud, generated from the personality of the sustainer. And it illuminated and halted the movements of destruction. The armor of the creator. The creator was born from that lotus. And took over the role of creator. Like primordial soup. Rama could not see, so he wandered. And eventually obtained sense for navigation. But had a difficult time understanding the beginning and end points of the things that he saw. So he introspected and started exploring inside himself and entered the waters of devastation. And near to Vishnu the Sustainer, still having difficulty finding the origins of things. O Vidura. She might be Brahma. Brahma reached the wheel, the cycle of fear of life and death. Fear of death, I guess. The wheel that circles, I guess, around creation, death, and sustainment. So Brahma found this eternal cycle, but wasn't finding a desired destination, and came back outside focusing on creation and the Supreme Lord, which is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. After meditation, he understood supremacy, or the Supreme Lord, even within himself. And understood the Supreme Lord, who we'll refer to as Prajapati. Prajapati, who is liberated from the gods, from the material, from fear of death, the Lord of creation, which is Brahma, identified as Prajapati. From there, created the universe and the living beings of the universe. So we honor the supreme entity by honoring the self and the gods. and all persons and all creations. Prajapati, the Supreme Person, is peace in creation and in people. Yeah, Abraham, Brahma. Why? Okay, so the creator should be birth and life force. The sustainer and the destroyer should be, you know, I guess the punishments of society and the material plane that cuts down the creations or judges the creations. Abraham would be I don't know, you would relate him, if the names are similar, then you would relate him to the supreme creative entity, and maybe an enlightened one, who, I guess, brought forth something living that would sustain itself and would continue growing, which is his culture that he fathered. Yeah, like the history of religion. It's an interesting thing to study, though, like, I guess you might agree, or you're already putting forth that, like, a lot of the religions connect back to, like, shared origins, probably, you know, if not, you know, probably leading through towards India or Mesopotamia, you know, somewhere in that region where the things, you know, where the thoughts mingled and, you know, seeded everything else that came afterwards. So chicken or egg. So even though Brahma came forth from Vishnu, Vishnu eventually calls himself the son of Brahma. Because Vishnu did not father Brahma, it was just the creator sort of created itself out of what was existing, what was already sustained. It is weird to, because Jesus could be, I don't know if I would call Jesus, like, Jesus is kind of Abrahamic. You know, he's like father of culture in a way, but not like father of the whole culture. It's like a turn in the culture or something. I don't even know if Abraham could be called. I guess in the fiction, in the story, Abraham would be the originator, the father of the culture. But I would not know if in like actual human history there would be like a single origin point, or if you would identify that as a person. I mean, in a way, I would think all three are in everyone. We all came from the source. But the source is... It's weird to think of anything as a source. You could like hypothesize that the Big Bang is the source, but like that just seems very like abstract. And like anyway, whoa. So this, you found this a very interesting chapter. A particularly interesting chapter. Because it's sort of, I guess, the core of a motivation you expressed earlier. Like how do we think about the origin of eternity and the creator? So this is an important part for your personal motivations, what you were trying to understand. And you find this a complex enough part to try to understand, because it's still mysterious for you. Is there supposed to be some way to answer this question, or like, is there actual progress made on this question? Or do we just sort of allow it to be a bit murky? Because I understand that philosophy and even like religious understanding is sort of, you know, the question you were putting forth, like chicken or egg, the question of, you know, where do you place the orderings of Vishnu, you know, sustainer, creator, destroyer? I guess, I mean, specifically here, you're putting the question between Vishnu and Brahma, sustainer and creator, and how that reflects in the other religions too, with Jesus and in this text. Is that the motivated, important question for you? Like, how do you understand origin and origin of the universe, origin of creation? For me, it's like, what can we like want to know in terms of like how it applies to how we live? Like science fiction sort of explores, I guess, how physics tries to understand this and says like there was some sort of pre-existing, you know, primordial soup or whatever. And then the Big Bang happened and created something new from the material that was pre-existing. Perhaps the Big Bang destroyed or sort of recycled what was pre-existing, the material there. And then we get what comes forth from the Big Bang that ate everything that was previous. So that like the creation did not come from nothing, but came from pre-existing materials, just recycling those. Yeah, I mean, it's been those classical texts have probably been on my like reading list for, I don't know, like near 20 years, but you know, I never get around to things. I can't, you know, who knows? I probably opened like the first few chapters and then moved on to something else for whatever reason. But can you say, because the understanding would be that like the previous universe, the pre-existing materials were like stagnant for whatever reason, or imploding for whatever reason, so that the new birth, the Big Bang, is necessary to refresh things. Which would make sense with the story with Vishnu being stagnant, asleep, you know, not doing anything unless there's fresh creation around. So he can be sustaining, but he's not sustaining anything too important. It's just the materials, like sleeping materials. Sleeping dead materials. Or at least from the sense of the new creation, the old is erased, so you could say it, you could just claim that it's sleeping and dead. You'll never really see what was before. And like, I guess you never really get to see what Vishnu was before Brahma. Vishnu sort of recycled into Brahma and then born out of Brahma. The same way, like it. Avatar of Krishna. An avatar of Vishnu. Compassion, protection, and love. Every time the sustainer breathes meaning like a tick in the cycle of his life. It's like the greater cycle of expansion and newness. Which could mean like cycles of new Brahmas or whatever. But that's sort of and it's nearing the point of being so abstract that, you know, it's very distant from the other things you talk about. It's just sort of like meta text. Meta philosophy. Each verse has its own creator, Brahma. And Buddha is what, like internal peace? What is Buddha an avatar of? Understanding? The Lord will appear as Buddha to confuse the envious. So that from Vishnu's perspective, our ritual is less important. Does Vishnu value religion as an institution? So our ritual is less important, but meditation is more important. Okay, so those are a lot of terms I don't know. Hinduism. The castes. I don't know. Is this somewhat sidetracked now? So we started on the interesting chapter about Vishnu and Brahma. And Krishna continues talking through the perspective of compassion, protection, and love about society, about ritual, religion, and meditation, and the natures of people, leading towards Hinduism and its perspective on social structures. Because Vishnu and his avatar are the ones that will sustain social structures. What is stable in society? I mean, devotees is a strange thing to me. Is devotees sort of like seems to be a person who devotes to ritual, social ritual. But is ritual something that Vishnu says is less important? You're saying, you know, there's a type of person who believes that just doing rituals will be enough to find enlightenment, but that is not the case. And Buddha came to confuse the people who were envious of the devotees. Some were envious because they saw, probably, that the devotees were celebrated. So the confusion is partly that giving them something to confirm their envy or their sort of spite or, you know, their criticism of the devotees. It's because Vishnu himself alone is not enough to, you know, I guess complete the cycle, the supreme cycle. Sustainment alone is not good enough. Then Buddha, like, you would think, because Buddha as an avatar of Vishnu is not only Vishnu, he would represent some amount of also creation and destruction, as any sort of supreme creative or supreme, you know, life force should not be only Vishnu. So when they say someone's an avatar of Vishnu, I mean, is Brahma an avatar of Vishnu? I don't know. I guess he should not be, in the way he's referred. Does not seem that should be the case. But in a way he is, because Vishnu, the meta Vishnu, is also the life, includes the supreme life cycle. So Brahma sort of is a smaller part within the Vishnu supreme cycle. You know, in the meta way, you know, Vishnu is more supreme. Okay, so it's saying, you know, I maybe should not entirely rely on Google AI overview for my understandings of things. Because it's calling here, it's saying that Krishna is also known as the Supreme God, but the term supreme is used in a lot of different ways. So it gets confusing. Okay, so what have we covered? Oh, okay. So an avatar is can be identified as, okay, a representative of Vishnu would also be identified as Vishnu. But it's, in that, like going back, like the meta idea of Vishnu, the sustainment as the supreme cycle of everything, it's like a meta supreme cycle, where you could also say that Brahma is like a part of Vishnu or an avatar of Vishnu in a way, like Brahma is an avatar of Vishnu. Because within a universe, Brahma may have created that universe, but that universe is a part of Vishnu's meta sustainment cycle. Okay, because he has a specific function, and he does not do everything that Vishnu does. He does a specific, part of it, because he's identified with the creation functions. But then it's like, But it's like, Vishnu can be referred to as the whole family, And like, Brahma and Shiva would be like father and mother, one or the other. And then Meta Vishnu could be just like the wider family, and other beings within the family. So like where are you? You have these questions and you're working to understand via these texts, and as part of that you are translating the text just because you're already translating them and understanding them, so you might as well, I guess, alongside helping others get into that sphere of study. Because you personally found it enlightening. So you end up creating a society and language around it. Do you feel God? I would assume that you do. A lot of people who get into religion sort of, my understanding is that they tell me that they feel some sort of meta presence that they would identify as God. I mean, the way you explain it, like you want to separate the feeling or the existence from the literature. And the stories, which would, I mean, to actually answer that question would require like hard, detailed text research, which I'm not even sure if that's possible because of how things deteriorate. But I guess you can follow lines and follow clues to where things imply things came from through the study of history and ancient literature. So you can sort of find clues. But maybe not a conclusive, hard answer, unless suggestions allow it. But even like, how would you even separate a feeling or an existence from the literature? Like, how could you ever conclude that they're separate or together? Because all you have of the literature and the fiction is what you can find, and that only goes so far, but it's all you have, and you can't like go back beyond to find like that there's like a separation or anything, a conclusive separation or identification. I don't know. There are still, even if you can't find that, conclusive answer, I would suppose there are still good things to be done with the line of inquiry and exploration. Yeah. UAPs. Like UFOs? All the phenomena I've seen, there hasn't been enough evidence to convince me of anything. Maybe like, you know, aeronautical research vehicles, you know. I've read some sci-fi that has interesting perspectives, but like Dark Forest and stuff like that, about how like civilizations probably don't want to be found because it's dangerous to be found. And then I can lean into the argument that it's valid that the universe is big enough that there's probably life somewhere. But as to why it hasn't been discovered, you know, there are still those theories. I don't know. Are you super into Trump? Trump, I don't know. I don't love the guy. Yeah, who knows? He probably, as a person in his position, he probably has information. But as to whether he's going to do anything, like, he's going to give us anything juicy or explanatory in a way that, like, that the interests of the nation, that would, like, conflict with the interests of the nation. Like, I would assume that if the government has a reason to hide that stuff, then it's for, like, probably some sort of, you know, national interest reason, like national security thing. But it's like him, my perspective on his personality, it's like that's such a teasing statement. Like, I know what it is, but I can't say yet. Like, it's either safe to share or it's not safe to share, or like it'll be safe to share after that military vehicle is already in use and everyone already knows about it. You don't no longer need the military secret or something like that. But you're saying, like, to avoid mass hysteria from the perspective of there actually is some alien presence that is known to the government. You would want to avoid that mass hysteria, which is an argument. But then, like, why even tease that there's something to say that's truthful and that might lead to mass hysteria? Like, it seems like it'd be, I don't know, because it's hard for me to argue from the perspective of someone who's not very cynical of Trump. I haven't actually talked about him very much, but it's sort of like my understanding of his personality makes me sort of cynical about him. So maybe I could try to avoid that bias, but, you know. Yeah. But it's hard to say, because Nikola Tesla also seems like someone who would, like, tease very strangely, like, sensational things, you know? Because he sort of... that seemed sort of one of his modes of operation. To sort of tease something sensational. But somehow, you know, not entirely delivering. So maybe, you know, like inflating the thing more than it actually is, more than what can be realistically delivered. Or, you know, like pessimistically delivered. Yeah, yeah. Well, you'd have to sort of expand beyond the human-centric viewpoints. What the hell? Father did not let her go to college, and so she misbehaved and was sent to the asylum. Like how religious... yeah, that would be interesting. At least as an observer on religious society and religious psychology. You know, how does the human mind interact with the structures of religion? I mean, you already have like angels, but it would not, because so many of these, it would be incorrect to view all the aliens as superior beings, is what I would say. But then most of the religions don't have an idea of, you know, other intelligent beings that are not humans, but that are not gods. Not angels, not demons. Except perhaps like the Babel thing, where the other races, other species would be, you know, scattered peoples, and also still kin in origin. But from the perspective of a universe, it would just be incorrect to view them as all superior. But then those are not, I suppose, included within Hindu society. So there's like, Hindu society is only for humans, and from the human perspective. Is that right? And then those other entities are very, very far separated from human society. Though you're saying they sometimes interact with human society. A living slice. So there's some sort of historical architecture underneath the asylum. Maybe like the underground of Constantinople or something. Lots of interesting perspectives in ancient Indian texts. Byzantine palace. Okay, so you're from the perspective that the ancient texts hint at extraterrestrial, entities in a similar way that has continued to the modern day's understanding of the extraterrestrials. But then it's like, does the modern day derive its ideas from those ancient texts? But then where did the ancient texts get their ideas? If you're going to be a cynic. Which is fair enough. The extraterrestrials, the story that the extraterrestrials might have interacted with ancient peoples, but then hid themselves away to not be found, to not be too upfront about their existence. I only sort of know these things mainly from the perspective of fictional settings, I think. I mean, lightly from, how conspiracy theories talk about it. An interstellar object. Well, I mean, I don't personally have that name in my memory, so I'm just Googling it right now. What's interesting about it? It could be an alien spacecraft, is what's being said. I mean, it always for me takes extraordinary, like, you know, extraordinary clarity to put forth something that's so fresh and disturbing to the norm that it would take hold. So it's difficult to like break that threshold of argument, you know, argumentative strength. I mean, the Wikipedia controversy section. So for me, it's like difficult to latch onto like very fringe hypotheses or speculations, even though they're interesting for someone who's, you know, in that realm, like some niche of people to explore. It's hard for the core bulk of society to latch onto that until it gets enough strength in its arguments. So for me, the controversy section of the Wikipedia is enough to dissuade the norm bulk of society from latching onto it unless and until more is given for the argument, because I don't know, it seems fair enough that he doesn't have anything conclusive enough to say that it's something, only that the speculation is allowable. Man, you are very deep into... I have not heard of Bluebeam. I thought this was going to be another like strange, very fringe theory. So what is Bluebeam? How do I learn about what you're talking about? Project Bluebeam? Okay, Canadian conspiracy theorist Serge Monast. Project Bluebeam conspiracy theory. Totalitarian world government. I think this is probably what you're talking about. New World Order destroying Abrahamic religions, replacing them with New Age belief using NASA tech and faked alien invasions. Is this something you put a lot of weight to? Millie, who discovered this place. So Millie is here. Josette is the current leader. Millie is supposed to be one of the more competent witches, but disappeared. Okay, so they did not use the door handle that I used. They were messing around and got teleported here through the wrong room. Conspiracy theories are always difficult because, like, to me, it's like things are so fringe. Ideas can be so fringe, but like mental capacity is so limited, and there's like a need to focus on, you know, things that are nearby. If you want to organize things that are like important to you. So for like some people, they will exist near enough to a theory that is beyond the center of society, and it will be of use to them and their interests. But for the bulk, the fringes, the bulk center cannot take all the fringes. So personally for me, you know, the average answer to like, do you know of this fringe theory will be like 90% no. Yeah. For me, like world governments, this would just be so difficult to fake an alien invasion. Like NASA sometimes seems incompetent, governments seem so incompetent. And like there's no like real possibility under current world global politics of making an actual world government that like unites United States with China, just because, you know, and like Russia and Africa, and like they're all so different and they disagree so hard. And even like oligarchs won't be able to take control of all these governments. They dug and they kept their memories in their digging in order to push through the walls of this place to find an underground. I think Millie teleported into the place and started digging around, eventually being able to contact the other witches. We are not the first inhabitants, right? A playground for royalty, right? Cages. Why would there be cages? Would people, you know, enact punishment in this place? Many of the undead were trained combatants, slaves in the dream. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that the military sees stuff that they don't understand. And NASA has seen stuff that they can't really explain yet either. But there's also, you know, like It's fair enough, however you want to explain that. You know, our scientists can't understand everything. There could also be, there might be terrestrials, extraterrestrials. You think that's strange? I mean, military is already... I don't think it's that strange to say that, like, there are things you don't understand. That's just sort of being truthful, because, like, I mean, it's difficult for it to be like a conspiracy to... Like, it's not exactly a conspiracy, so much as it actually is, like, things that people can't explain. Like, if there was an actual conspiracy and there is, like, some sort of conclusive evidence that there's something, like, clear that is being hidden, the clear thing, I feel like it would be... like, it would not be able to be in the same realm as the one saying, like, there's something we don't understand. Just because the motivations for those two statements would be different. And, like, the evidence that would back up those two perspectives. Like, there's a conspiracy, there's something being hidden, versus there's something we don't understand. Like, would you... I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, people have weird dreams all the time. You know, there are people who have strange dreams that connect to things that they've seen or read somewhere, and that they'll, you know, people can also say things that are from their dreams that are not necessarily something in the material world objectively, that that could be given to others as evidence that something happened in the material world. Because like people have hallucinations, people have dreams, people imagine things, people make up stories. So like the investigation is valid to figure out like what exactly he's talking about, but it's not necessarily anything there yet that you could conclude. Ancient blood. I wasted a bunch of ancient blood. Okay. Where did I even get ancient blood? Albert. I recognize this name. This guy is an undead and the brother of Dafid. Dafid. I mean, I've encountered people who made predictions like that, and they were wrong. Like, the thing they predicted did not happen. So it's like, but he seemed to believe it. Like, he'd made a prediction, and he was very confident in it, but then nothing happened, so who knows? People do these things too. I think Dafid is dead because I killed him. Davith. Now I have to lie or something. Davith is not fine because he's dead. Davith was a zombie, but then I killed him. If I tell him he's a zombie, it'll be... Does he know that he's undead? Well, last time I tried to lie in this game, I got set on fire. And I can take this guy, but is he going to trade with me if I'm nice to him? Okay, he's alright. Portable. So inexpensive. Okay. Invulnerable statue. Okay, so I think this has been an interesting conversation. You certainly have a bunch of perspectives that are outside the norm of the center of society. I have a day job, so I think I'm going to take off for now. So Hadavar. Yeah. I bid you adieu. You know, we might cross paths again, if you decide to revisit. This channel is very... I have no idea. It's hard to get viewers on Twitch. I haven't been focusing on it either. But yeah, you have a good night, or I'll have a good night. I'll try to get some sleep.